Well, there's no doubt about what the scriptures are about this morning. Jeremiah gets thrown into a well because he obeyed God. He spoke out as prophets are supposed to do and say what God tells them to say. In Hebrews, the author is writing to a group of Christians who are beginning to have trouble, as we would say, in the parish. One Christian after another Christian's throat. And Jesus, of course, told it all beforehand to all of us. If you follow me, it's not going to be easy. You're going to be persecuted. Even within your own family, you're going to get grief of one kind or another. We always think of the martyrs of the early church, those people that we commemorate periodically throughout the year who died for their faith in Jesus, for their allegiance to him. But the fact is that in this very year, more Christians have died because they are disciples of Jesus than ever in all the years of the persecution in the early days of the church under the Romans. Hundreds of thousands of people are dying, not because they spoke out in the name of the Lord, but merely for being the disciples of Christ. And here we are. Don't we feel so blessed that we are not persecuted for our faith? But that makes me ask myself the question, why is my allegiance to Jesus so easy, so non-threatening, so safe? And I have to ask myself, perhaps it's because I'm not as faithful to him, as aligned to him as I should be. I mean, just because I wear a cross, or you wear a cross and I wear a collar, that really isn't alignment. That's just, in a sense, decoration. Anybody could do that. We have to remind ourselves that why Jesus said what he did about discipleship is because he did not come to teach us to keep the 10 Commandments. He wants us to keep the Beatitudes, which he summed up by saying, "A new commandment I give you, that you love each other," translated, that you take care of each other as I have loved you, as I have taken care of you, to the extent of giving my life for you. So perhaps I'm not being persecuted as a Christian because it's not obvious to anybody that I'm taking care of anybody but myself. This is an examination of conscience, which I share with you. But I share the examination of conscience with you because we're all the disciples of Christ, and we all need to examine the allegiance that we have to him in the face of so many things that would pull us away from him within the family, even among members of the church, where we don't all think alike all the time. Someone said once that if you were taken to court for being a Christian, would there be enough evidence to convict you? And that's a good question that each one of us has to ask each other. Ask ourselves, not each other. We need to challenge each other many times, but we have to continually examine ourselves as to which comes first in life. What Jesus asks me to do, to love as he loved, which means to death, and then asking myself, what does love mean? Love is a word I really don't like. I wish we could put a moratorium on it for about 10 years and say what it really means. It means taking care of the other, of any other that needs care. And that would certainly give us away as Christians if we all did that. And then we would probably all be under the knife sooner or later because we're Christians. But that's what the promise was. You know, if you're going to follow me, it's going to be a way of the cross. It's going to be a way of the cross, not because you impose things on yourself, but because you accept the rebukes and the rebuttal of your culture and society, because you're doing what is countercultural. You're taking care of everybody you come in contact with in whatever way they need care. That's the Christian mission. That's why people get thrown into wells or get their throat cut. The spectrum of persecution is wide. At one end, you have being put to death for Christ. At the other end, you have putting yourself daily to death by taking care of the needs of others before your own. That's the Christian story, and that's why I think in this part of the liturgical year we are given this whole reading on what it means to follow Christ. It's not easy. He told us it wasn't going to be easy, and we should not try to make it easy, because making it easy may be equivalent to denying our allegiance to Jesus.